its inquiry without further delay. Now, the former mayor is now predicting that the investigation could be over by September the 1st. He'll be right here on this show with more details in just a few moments. Without a doubt, President Trump should be aware. Now, Mueller, his merry band of anti-Trump deep state sycophants, Hillary Clinton, Obama, Democratic donors, what's happening here, we all pretty much agree on. They are laying a perjury trap for the President of the United States. Mueller should not get what he wants. The president, his attorney, should not give in. The president should not sit down for an interview. Now, tonight we have yet another example of just how corrupt and how flawed Mueller's witch hunt really is. According to a shocking new report tonight from the Hill's John Solomon, Christopher Steele, remember him, the former foreign spy responsible for the Clinton bought and paid for dossier? Oh, we now know he was also paid by your FBI, your dollars, under Jim Comey. Well, they were desperately trying to influence the ongoing counsel with the hunt into so-called Russian collusion. And it gets worse. Bruce Orr, the fourth highest-ranking member of the DOJ, was trying to help Christopher Steele do it. This is months after Steele was fired for leaking. He got 11 payments from the FBI. On July 16, 2016, before the election, Steele wrote to Orr, quote, "I spoke to my old colleagues last week. They assured me they would not stand in the way of our re-engagement with the Bureau." Orr texted back, "I will pass along to my colleagues, thanks." And on November 18th, after the election, Trump won. Now, Mueller's witch hunt, by the way, was now underway. Steele writing, quote, "I am presuming you've heard nothing back from your special counsel colleagues on the issues you kindly put to them from me." And then Steele goes on to say this is disappointing would be an understatement. Certain people have been willing to risk everything to engage with them in an effort to help them reach the truth. Now, yeah, right, just like there's truth in that phony, unverified, uncorroborated, debunked dossier that the Clinton campaign used to smear then-candidate Donald Trump, the same Russian lies that were used before the election as the foundation for the Mueller witch hunt and the op research used to mislead a FISA court on four, not one, but four separate occasions, four judges, so the government literally can spy on an opposition party candidate and a Trump campaign associate. And meanwhile, according to a brand new report from our own Sarah Carter, a post-election 2016 handwritten document from Bruce Orr listing the names of Strzok and Page and others in the FBI is also raising questions tonight about the extent of Orr's communications with the Bureau. And according to some other newly unearthed texts tonight, we're also learning that Steele was concerned about the U.S. Senate's inquiry into the dirty dossier, probably because the contents were full of Russian lies and outright propaganda. And by the way, he even said so himself in an interrogatory in England. He said it's raw intelligence. I have no idea if this is true, maybe 50-50. Really? Not only did he peddle his Clinton and FBI bought and paid for lies to you, the American people, to sway an election, the bulk of that information that is false, Russian lies, to get a FISA warrant as top officials, as I said, four separate times lied to FISA court judges to spy on an opposition party candidate. Then he turns around and tries to peddle his lies through Bruce Orr. Remember his wife, Nellie, well, she helped build the lies for Fusion GPS, the dossier. What did they do with it? They wanted to get it to Mueller, post-election, to destroy President Trump after the fact that they lost. They tried to influence the election. It didn't work. Then they tried to destroy the president. It is a national, disgusting, despicable disgrace, the biggest abuse of power by the top DOJ and FBI officials in this country. By the way, not rank and file. And according to Solomon's report, we'll go back to that, these communications between Bruce Orr and Christopher Steele, they were going on until late November 2017. Well, that's more than a year after the FBI supposedly, officially cut off all ties with Steele because he was leaking and lying about potentially classified information to the media, again, to peddle his lies, to influence the outcome of our election. Now, this all comes on the heels of last night's shocking report that showed that Christopher Steele was working closely with Bruce Orr before and after the 2016 election, again, to spread the lies from Steele's dirty dossier. He had no faith in those lies throughout the highest levels of what is supposed to be our fair and unbiased justice system. Equal justice under the law, equal applications of the law. Now, at the time, Orr, again, the fourth highest ranking member of Obama's Department of Justice. However, he's since been demoted because of his unethical ties to Steele and Fusion GPS. Now, Sarah Carter, John Solomon, they will be joining us in a moment with more details. These are shocking new developments. It is far worse than we ever thought. But first, we are also currently tracking another investigation into election hacking. Now, according to WikiLeaks, the Senate Intel Committee has now requested to interview WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. Now, Senator Burr's office has not confirmed the request, but if this is true, it's about time. After all, remember, WikiLeaks, they were the ones that actually released those hacked emails. And unlike so many other so-called journalists here in America, we actually took the time. We went to England, we sat down, and we interviewed Julian Assange right here on the show and on my radio show, and he said to us then, no government actor was involved in the hacking. You might remember. Take a look. Did Russia give you this information or anybody associated with Russia?
Our source is not a state party, so the answer for our interactions is no.
You did not get this information about the DNC, John Podesta's emails. Can you tell the American people 1,000% you did not get it from Russia or
Yes.
anybody associated with Russia?
We can say, we have said repeatedly over the last 2 months that our source is not the Russian government and it is not a state party.
Now, I'd assume he knows where he got it and probably has the proof. So let's let this country see where WikiLeaks got the information from. We're going to keep you posted when or if the Senate Intel does, in fact, interview Julian Assange. And by the way, the House, they need to do the same thing. The American people, you deserve the truth. But tonight, regardless of what you think about WikiLeaks, it's irrelevant. We know one thing for certain. President Trump in no way colluded with Russia. And instead, the president has been extremely tough on Vladimir Putin's hostile regime. And today, we have one more example. Tough new U.S. sanctions levied against Russia in response to an assassination attempt of a former British spy conducted with chemical or biological weapons. Now, these new sanctions will be applied to all Russian state-owned businesses and will reportedly affect 70% of the Russian economy. Gee. I thought the president was compromised by Putin. That's what fake news tells us, or NBC News suggesting he might actually be a Russian agent. President Trump. Now, while the president makes serious policy decisions, and as he's conducting consequential peace-through-strength diplomacy, well, many on the far left, they are obsessing over ICE, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Now, as part of their grand plan to get open borders, many on the left want to band together and ban ICE altogether. Earlier this week, we sent Tommy Lahren to Portland, Oregon, to interview some of these anti-ICE activists. So, a small portion. Take a look.
I don't know if you've seen in the last couple of weeks, but your city's been kind of home to some protesting, some controversy, a lot of surrounding your mayor and the Occupy ICE movement.
Right.
Are you familiar with any of that?
Yes.
What do you think about it?
I think that they should be able to protest.
I don't know if they need to be abolished, but I think we need to look seriously at the policies that are being practiced at the moment.
Fox News? Yeah, you're a too.
But I'm nice.
Doesn't matter.
My name is
You're
Tommy.
Don't care.
You just don't like Fox News?
No, because Fox News is nothing but a bunch of capitalist lies.
Wow, she found a fan. Stay tuned. We're going to have Tommy's full coverage coming up. You're not going to believe how out of touch with reality some of these people really are. All right, now let's return to the horrific breaking story out of New Mexico. A father of a missing disabled 3-year-old son has been arrested at a squalid camp that's linked to Islamic extremists. Now, during his arrest, 11 children were found on this compound where it is believed weapons training was conducted. Now, with plans, of course, to use the children in future school shootings. The individual arrested was the son of a Brooklyn imam who was named as an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 World Trade Center attack. Now, sadly, the remains of the young child were also found on this compound. A scary, tragic story will continue to follow. And we also have another topic to get to, and it comes to us right here in New York City. Sorry, I pay high taxes. I'm stuck here. Far-left mayor, Comrade Bill de Blasio, has a new favorite villain. You're looking at it right now. That's right. During a recent interview, Comrade de Blasio blamed Fox News for dividing America. He tells The Guardian, quote, "If you could remove News Corp from the last 25 years of American history, we would be in an entirely different place." Yeah, that's true. We'd only have one opinion on the news from the far left, a universal opinion, because they're all a bunch of sheep, a utopian dream for Comrade de Blasio. And like a true left-wing extremist, well, Comrade de Blasio detests diversity of thought. That's not good. Imagine 30 years without Rush. Oh, let's see, 30 years without talk radio, 23 years without Fox News. All right, finally tonight, our last topic covers day 7 of the trial of the century, the 2005 tax and bank fraud charges against Paul Manafort. Remember, no collusion, has nothing to do with Donald Trump, nothing to do with the campaign, nothing to do with Russia. And while Team Mueller is embarrassing themselves in their attempt to put the screws on Manafort, as Judge Ellis said, to get him sing or to compose against President Trump so they can impeach or prosecute him, well, it's Mueller's prosecutors who are actually feeling the heat from the presiding judge, T.S. Ellis III. Yesterday, Judge Ellis berated Mueller's legal team and even accused one prosecutor of being such a tough guy he was tearing up like a little crybaby. Today, Judge Ellis reportedly urged the prosecution to, quote, focus sharply, speed up the pace of the trial, saying, quote, judges should be patient. They made a mistake when they confirmed me. And meanwhile, Manafort's attorneys once again called out what is the questionable character of the star witness, Rick Gates, pointing out that he had up to 4 extramarital affairs on top of, let's see, embezzlement, lying, extortion, and could have faced, if he didn't get the get out of jail free card from Mueller, could have faced 290 years in jail. Wow. Offer 290 years in jail or say something about this guy. I think I'll take the jail. I don't think so. Now, as always, we'll continue to update you in this trial conducted by Mueller's team of witch hunters. This has absolutely zero to do with Russia. Nothing to do with collusion, nothing to do with the campaign, nothing to do with Trump. 2005. Put the screws to him so he sings or composes.